To end the year of 2022, I actually wanted to do a lodge tour. I actually only got this game at the beginning of the year 2022, so there's not going to be many trophies to show, but as the years go on, I will be filling this lodge up more and more, and we'll do even more lodge tours. So to start this tour off, we have the Mission Albino Diamond Black Bear, which scored 28.9. And right next to him, we have a melanistic female that scored 20. Now, I'm actually kind of thinking of moving her into my rare lodge because she's not a gold scoring animal. And moving to the wall above here, we have a diamond axis deer that scored 226.2, as well as a blue wildebeest that scored 39.9, and we also have one over here that scored 37.9. Now up above we have a Bighorns Cape Buffalo that scored 157.6, as well as a Small Horns that scored 154.1. In the center of it all, we have this Diamond Water Buffalo that scored 175.9. Now he was actually kind of interesting to get. The first time I got onto my Parque Fernando map, he was the first water buffalo that I actually spotted. Actually, not only just spotted, but he was the first one I saw on the whole entire map. Moving into this room, we have the Bare Necessities mount that actually has a max score black bear with a 23.3 black bear with him. Now this was of course on the black bear grind. And over here, I actually messed up this Diamond Mountain Goat. He is a 112.5. I didn't realize that I had the wrong gun in my hand, and I shot him, and, well, you can see how that turned out. Right above here, we have a 510.5 Rocky Mountain Elk. Now, this was on the super rare grind that I was on, but I kind of gave up on that. Over here, we have the Agro Wolf, and we also have the Phantasma Wolf. Up here on this wall, we have a melanistic whitetail that scored 213.8. Now, you can actually find this guy in one of my videos. And this guy right here is my biggest whitetail, scoring at 271.2. I was very happy when I got this guy. And next to them, we have a piebald whitetail that scored 238.9. And headed over here on this wall, we have a Diamond Bighorn sheep that scored 166.3, as well as another one that scored 172.5. Up on this wall, we don't have as many trophies, but they're still good ones. We have a Diamond Muley that scored 324.8, as well as another Diamond Muley over here that scored 335.2. And we have a 270 on the dot whitetail, which is pretty awesome. And we also have a 259.4 diamond whitetail. And in the middle of it all, we have a 514.6 Rocky Mountain Elk. Now, before I forget these guys, I have a 3.1 scoring diamond Tundra Bean Goose, as well as a 7.4 Harlequin Duck, and a 1,255.1 Golden Eye. This is going to be my wall of birds, so I'm still trying to get some trophies for this wall. And over here we have a 2-scoring diamond Eastern Cottontail Rabbit. You can also find this guy in my shorts videos. Now, this lodge was more filled up, but I didn't want to fill it up with too many of the bare necessity mounts from my black bear grind, so I did move them to another lodge. But that will just make space for more trophies, such as these guys. We have a 217.1 scoring diamond feral goat, and we also have a 220.5 diamond scoring feral goat. And these guys are my pride and joys. We have the fabled spirit scoring 24.6, and the Fabled Cream scoring 25.5. Now these two are an interesting story. They didn't take me super long to get, and this guy, I actually don't know how many kills it took to get him, but once I saw him, I was freaking out. I was super excited. And then I shot him, and then the next day, as you can see, the next day, I got the Fabled Cream. Now, I'm pretty sure I used up all my luck on these guys because I am 99% positive that the Fabled Spirit Bear respawned into the Fabled Cream. They were at the same exact lake in the same exact zones, so I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of a cool thought. Heading over here into this hallway, we have a 28.4 Diamond Brown Bear, and we also have a 28.1 Diamond Brown Bear. And on this wall, we have a 450.7 Reindeer, a 451.7 Reindeer, and a 436.4. Now into this room, we of course have the Mocha Moose scoring 205.7. We have a 275.7 Diamond Moose. We have a Piebald scoring 212.3. And we also have a Diamond Moose scoring 277.9. And this little guy over here, you could find him in one of my shorts as well. He was kind of the nice wolf that we found, quote unquote, so I just kind of decided to taxi him to not forget about him. Heading into this room, we don't really have anything special, but we do have a Spirit Brown Bear that scored 24.9. I know these are uncommon, but I just thought that it would be cool to taxi him because I do really love the fur types, as well as the blonde. This one scores 25.7. Over on this wall, we have a Diamond Wild Boar scoring 147, and another Diamond Wild Boar that scored 148.1. And in this room over here, we have a 48.7 Diamond Lion, and we also have a 48.5 Diamond Lion. And we also have a 383 Roosevelt Elk. Now this was the mission animal, so I didn't do a full head mount for this guy. I just didn't feel like that would be right to do that, so he is just antlers. Now this room right here is kind of my mountain lion room. I was on a grind for a diamond gray mountain lion, which you will see in a little bit. But as of right now, we have an albino scoring 36.8. We have a diamond mountain lion scoring 39. One scoring 39.1. 39.6, another 39, 39.3, and 39.1. And in this room right here, we have a piebald black-tailed deer, which scored 136.7. We also have an albino blue wildebeest that scored 35.2. Into the main room, we have a diamond Grados ibex that scored 104.8, a diamond fallow that scored 268.9, a diamond Rhonda that scored a 109. Over here we have the side-by-side mount that has a melanistic whitetail that scores 196.3 and an albino whitetail that scored 198.9. Over here we have the whitetail huddle with a 266.6, a 258.6, and a 257. I do have a bunch more of these mounts, but they are also in another lodge. I don't want to, again, clutter up the lodge with the same mounts over and over and over again. Here we have the Grand Slam with the Besit Ibex that scored a 199.6, a Grados that scored a 103.9, a Southeastern Spanish which scored 91.3, and a Rhonda which scored 110. Over here we have the Collision Mount. Now this is that gray mountain lion I was talking about. He scored 39 with a diamond blacktail that scored 179.9. And right next to it we have the Royalty Mount with an albino male lion which scored 45.9 and an albino female lion which scored 38.4. Up on this wall we have a diamond gold blue wildebeest that scored 38.3. I've wanted this guy for a while. You can also find this guy in one of my videos. And right next to him we have another diamond blue wildebeest that scored 37.8. And right over here we have a melanistic lesser kudu which scored 137.1. Welcome to the Rare Lodge. Now, immediately off the bat, we have a Bald Leucistic Canada Goose, which scored 5.7. And right over here, we have a Orange Raccoon Dog, which scored 6.4. We have a Leucistic Plains Bison, which scored 146.9. And an Albino Plains Bison, which scored 37.4. Heading over into this room, we have a Mixed Feral Goat, which scored 134.3. I actually didn't know that this was a mixed until I picked it up, so I kind of messed him up, but that's okay. And the same thing goes for this guy right here, the Albino Merriam Turkey, which scored a 4.2, excuse me. I thought he was a light brown, and he wasn't. And over here I have the Melanistic Raccoon, which scored 3.6. You can also find her in one of my short videos. Heading into this room, we have a Black Gold Wild Hog. Now, I'm not sure if this is just an uncommon or a rare, but I decided to taxi him anyway. He scores 87.59 repeated. And we have a Piebald Whitetail. We also have an Albino Caribou, which scored 232.1, as well as a Piebald Axis Deer. I love this fur type on these guys. It is gorgeous. And right next to her, we have an Albino Bighorn Sheep, which scored a 106.2. And into this room right here, we have a Piebald Moose. We have another Piebald Moose, which scored 189.7, and an Albino Female Moose. And into this room right here, we have a Piebald European Bison, which scored 59.6, as well as a Albino Rocky Mountain Elk, which scored 271.2. Over in this room right here, we have a Piebald Rocky Mountain Elk, which scored 165. And for the last room downstairs, we have another Piebald European Bison, which scored 173.5. As you head upstairs, you can find an Albino European Bison, which scored 38.3. And up here, you can find an Albino Red Deer, which scored a 181.4. A Piebald Red Deer, which scored a 109.5. Another Piebald Rocky Mountain Elk, which scored 226.6. And another Piebald Red Deer, which scored a 129.9. And another Albino Red Deer, which scored 85.2. And another Albino Rocky Mountain Elk, which scored 386.6. As well as another Albino Rocky Mountain Elk, which scored 321.6. And another Albino Caribou, which scored 236. And in this room we have the Slay Sold Separately mount, which has a Piebald Reindeer, a Piebald Reindeer, and a Leucistic Reindeer. And in this room right here we have a 288 Piebald Whitetail. And in this room right here we have a Melanistic Caribou, which scored 306.9. You can also find him in one of my videos. Over here we have an Albino Female, which scored 31.4. And I'm not sure if this is a rare or not, but I have a Gray Scrub Hair that scored 3.6. And we have this trophy right here, which I actually just got yesterday. We have an Albino Besit Ibex that scored 56.6. And in this room right here, we have another Piebald European Bison, which scored 162. And over here, we have another European Bison Piebald that scored 48.4. Here we have a Piebald Red Deer, and we have a Piebald Musketeer. You can also find her in one of my videos. Right here we have a Piebald Pronghorn, which scored 65.59 repeated. And we have a Leucistic Reindeer that scored 119.7. And another Piebald Red Deer. And here's my Bare Necessities mount with the rares. We have a blonde that scored 18.1 and a brown which scored 18.3. Sorry, Caitlin. And in this room right here, we have a Piebald Whitetail scoring 167.2. We have another Piebald Pronghorn which scored 63.1. We have another piebald whitetail, which scored 169.7. A piebald blacktail, which scored 103.9. And another piebald whitetail that scored 188.3. This is my grinding lodge. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but I will speed up the video and you guys can just see what I got. And that's going to be the end of this lodge tour video. I really do appreciate you guys stopping in and giving it a watch. And I am looking forward to filling up these lodges a bit more in the future. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.